So welcome along to another episode. Today we're going to be looking at the Eurowag truck sat nav, although it does do other things as well, like cars and coaches as well. So we're going to be looking at that. The reason why I want to be looking at this is because, you know, I don't use a sat nav myself. I'm doing an honest review on it, see what it's like to use a sat nav, and see how we get on with it. You know, I mean, I'm going to be as honest as I can with it. I don't use one on a regular day-to-day basis. So I'm an ideal candidate then to express my reviews on how well it is. The reason why I chose this one is because it's free. It's got 4.4 stars on Google Play and it's over 1 million downloads. So it must be something good about it, like, especially having them sort of high reviews. I have been using it now for a couple of months to give it a good proper test, see what it's like. I don't use it every day, but I do use it now and then, just to give me a heads up of what time I'm going to be arriving and that sort of stuff. So we'll look into what it's like now. Right, let's put my glasses on. So this is the main view of the screen that you get once you've logged in and signed in and whatnot. So you have got the settings. So basically you'll click on your name and then click on settings, and you've got options then for route navigation, like avoiding highways, avoiding toll roads and whatnot. So, you know, I mean, it's everything you would expect from a sat nav, to be honest with you. You've got different driving modes, you know, and auto zooms. It's loads of settings in here. So fair dues, they've done well in thinking of that as well, especially for some free bit of software. Language and voice, not something I particularly use myself. I've just got the alert switched on. The voice I find a bit distracting, and I certainly don't have it connected to Bluetooth, but you can have it connected to Bluetooth, so therefore it'll come through the speakers as well then. But that's not something for me, you know. I mean, again, I'm not somebody which uses these all the time, so I find them more I like to glance at them, and that's about as far as I go, like, you know what I mean. But the information on my arrival time and that sort of stuff is more what I want it for, not where I'm going, because I obviously don't need to know where I'm going, because I've been doing it long enough. I should know where I'm going, and that's the end of that. So anyway, you can adjust the speed limits and everything like that, so you can notify not adjust the speed limits, but you can notify yourself about the speed cameras. If you're going to be over the speed limits, you're going to change the settings on this. I haven't really gone delving into this, but I notice the notification sound for it tends to be the same for, you know, like if it's a speed camera coming up, or if it's traffic coming up, it tends to be the same notification. So I don't know if you can go in and change. Yes, you can change the sound. So like there's sound, speed cameras, sound, there we are, there's different sounds anyway. It's just something I haven't noticed. But yeah, you can change the sounds and stuff like that, so all that is good features. And I say we'll go back now, and you've got maps, views and units. Okay, so as you notice, I have got it set up as speed limit miles per hour, but my distance is metric, which is kilometers. Then I can set it up into miles feet, miles yards, whatever. It's just something I prefer knowing, because obviously with the conversion, I know pretty much what certain things are with kilometers and stuff like that. But you know, I mean, it's easy enough then, miles and feet or miles and yards. So it's just as easy as that. And obviously, you know, other things then. So anyway, them are the settings. You can have a look at them yourself and everything. It's plenty of settings on there, you know what I mean. So when you come to this main screen, you can see where you are in location, and you can see where you are in the UK. And the good thing is, you can also route via Europe, so you can go into places like this. So if you wanted to search something, you can either search a postcode of where you want to go, or you can type on it. Say for example, we do a lot of work into Euro auctions, so if I type in Euro auctions, it comes up there, Roth Lane, and it tells me what it is. So you can search a name of a place. I really like that feature, because if you don't know a postcode, you can search of a name of a place, like Mike's Autos in, say for example, Plymouth, and it will come up with that. Not, I just made that off the top of my head, by the way. So anyway, we'll click on Euro auctions. It'll show me then where that is. Get directions. So it'll give me options now. This is it. Pretty much it does it like Google and it'll say it's 5 minutes 35 going that way, 5 hours 35 going that way, 5 hours 44 going that way, and then 5 hours 39 going the other way. So it's obviously chosen the faster route, which is 5 hours 35. So we'll carry on with that then. And that's it. That's it. Straight, easy as that. It's all set up, ready to go. Now, if you look at just below where it is, it's showing a little sign. You can see me tapping it there. That's a speed camera. This gives a notification of where the speed cameras are. As you're driving up to it, it'll let you know. This little balloon here now, which is the lane assist on the right hand side of the screen, this little balloon with the exclamation mark in it, when you've got lane assist on, if it pops up lane assist it gets rid of this. And the reason why I don't like that is because if you click on this, it allows you to report if there's traffic there, if there's a police car there, if it's speed cameras, if it's danger, crash. So like if it's obstruction on the road, you can click on that, and then other people which are using the software will know then, right, there's an obstruction there or something like that, you know what I mean, or there's a speed camera, you know what I mean. So that sort of stuff, I like that feature. However, with the lane assist, which is on this, I've got it switched off because I find it more of a danger if you were to follow it. It gets in the way, it pops up, you'll be passing a junction on a motorway and you know you'll be using the lanes that you need to be using, and then it'll tell you, oh hang on a second now, you want to go from the it'll light up the 3 lanes, knowing that you're in the truck, you're not allowed to use the outside lane anyway, but then it'll have you go into 1 lane and then back into 3 lanes, and it's just like, what, right, I really can't understand why you're doing stuff like that, but it'll pop up on the screen for no reason at all, you know, on things like that. And the other thing as well I notice is that on a roundabout, it'll have you go on all the lanes, but you may only need the right hand lane to go around the roundabout way to the route that you go in. And as you go through a particular point, say you set a traffic lights or something, it'll guide you over into that 1 lane, so you could have cut across all 3 of the lines, all 3 of the traffic lanes of the traffic, which I find is quite dangerous, to be honest. So that's why I particularly chose to switch lane guidance off. It's not really a big issue. You don't really need lane guidance, to be honest with you, especially if you are a truck driver or coach driver or something like that. You're not going to need lane guidance. You're trained up to use the road markings on the floor and use the signs as well as following a route anyway, so you know when you're approaching something that you need to be going in. Say for example you're on the M69 and you want to get onto the M6, you know which lanes to be in to go into that, you know what I mean. So anyway, you'd follow signs and you know that, all right, that my next road is onto the M6. So on the route here, you've got loading places along route, which is I kind of like. You can see that you got services. Hilton Hill services is where I am now, but then you've got Clumpton services, you know, it's in 17 miles. Taunton Dean, so you know you've got all these marker points there, or points of interest then that you can show on route, and it does show just above then on, if you open it up, it shows right, okay, 15 yards is where I am now. Obviously you got the parking area 7 miles, fuel 7 miles, that's going to be extra services, because if I click on that, Sidmouth Road Exeter, and it shows you where it is, and obviously it's showing just their extra services. So things like that I really do like. It does come up with traffic, so it'll show up on the top there that there may be traffic on your route. At the moment it's all blue, but it will show amber and green whether or not there's traffic on the route. The traffic doesn't seem to be too bad. It seems to be more times than not quite accurate, so it gives you a rough idea on the delays and stuff like that. But I like this on the bottom, so it shows then how many miles you got there to go, when you're going to get there, how long it's going to take, and then this long bar at the bottom left, that'll actually disappear the closer you get to it. So it'll grow grey, and obviously the remaining, which is blue. But you can search if you want to add a point of interest, or you can fuel, garage, anything like that. and obviously the route, then you can click on that and you can see the route of where you've got to go. So it's loads of features on it. You can even bring it up, like I got it set for alerts only, but you can have sound on and sound off for the speech. And then obviously you've got vehicle preferences, so you can have two up to this. A set of vehicle preference, so you can select bus, van, car or truck. You can go combustible engine or electric. I haven't tried electric. Something for you to try if you want to have a look at it. Type in vehicle profile 2, so I'll type in HGV 2 there, HGV 2, create profile, and then for here then I can add in what I need. So what I'll do this for my SCGO, so I'll do maximum speed 40 mile an hour, because obviously if I'm over total weight, I'm going to be overweight, so I can go 80 ton, which will be my maximum weight. Axle weight then will be 13 ton. Total vehicle length, so it's in feet and inches. This is where it would be nice to have the distance put into miles, and then obviously measuring then put into metric, and because obviously that's the way our British minds work, but you can't have it always. I think if we say about the total length is about 18 meters, which is 18 meters is around about 59 feet, I think it is. So we type in 59 feet and 0 inches. I think it's something like that. It is 18 meters. Total vehicle length width we'll put down to so we'll put down a 10 foot, because that's we're normally around there anyway, you know what I mean. We're over 3 meters. 3 meters is 9'6", so we put it down as 10 foot, and that gives a rough idea. So vehicle height then will be around about 15 foot, but you can change that as you go. So if you notice, it has changed. 14 foot 12, which is 15 foot, 58 and 12 inches, which is 59 foot. So obviously you can't have 0, it's got to go for 12, like now for vehicle width 9 foot 12, so that's obviously something to note. Number of trailers 1, number of axles 7. Production year obviously is 2017. I'm driving Euro category 6. It's a non-handler load and we don't have to worry about them. So then if we select that, it would be nice if they had extra profiles, but if we select that one there anyway, it now gives us a time of 7 hours 48, because obviously our speed limit is going to be given to 40 mile an hour. So that's all in all, it's really good. It tells you what the current speed is on the right hand side there, and what the speed limit is, and then it tells you then what's coming up on the top. Recenter that just up on the top end. The middle is showing obviously is 15 mile an hour. That is in 210 yards, which is where we are. So all in all, the software is pretty good. I've got to give it that. For free software, I generally highly recommend it to anybody, and I'm not affiliated. I'm not associated with Eurowag Navi at all. It's just a personal opinion on it. I get on with it pretty well. It's pretty simple to use. The UI interface is pretty simple to use. The only downsides I find with it is basically the lane guidance. I'm not keen on that, and measuring. Personally myself, I'd like to have distance, you know, so like you're traveling on the road, I'd like to have that set in miles, and then the distance then for measuring a vehicle, so like your height and stuff like that in metric. It's just because of the way our British minds work, that we use both measurements, you know what I mean? So it would be nice to have that option added on. But other than that, for free software, apart from them couple of little flaws, it's not bad at all, you know what I mean? If you really want to go out there and purchase, you know, a software, it's not going to be much more different than this. However, I will be doing more of these episodes where I'm going to be doing reviewing, so we'll see what they are like. But all in all, I'm quite liking this one, and I highly recommend it. So if you want a free sat-nav software which will work on your phone, your tablet, anything like that, it's available from iTunes, Apple, sorry, and Play Store. It's available from Apple and Play Store, and yeah, I highly recommend this bad boy to download. But what would I give it out to stars? So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. There's definitely room for improvement on there. It's like certain things I got switched off, like the voice guidance and stuff like that, and the lane guidance. More my personal preference, just something I can glance on. But I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10, which is a good start for the sat-navs, considering I don't use sat-navs, and I certainly don't need this to get from A to B. But it's nice knowing what time it's going to take me to get there and what traffic is coming up. So I'm liking them features on it big time. So if you want to go and get this, there will be links in my description below how to get it on Google Play, and links to get it on Apple as well. So I'll put them in the description. And again, I'm not affiliated by Eurowag, but I certainly highly recommend it. Remember, if you like this, what I'm doing, and like the channel, remember to like and subscribe. I have got a couple of more channels started now. So one's a personal vlog. I'm going to be doing this sort of thing, talking and whatnot. It's still in a process, that one is, so it'll come shortly. The other one is drone footage, which I did purchase a drone, so that's in there, and I highly recommend you watch that video. That one video is live. It is going to be a few more. And remember, if you want more of my stuff, Trucker Timbo, the link is in the description to go to the store, and obviously it's on YouTube as well, so you can click on get Trucker Timbo merchandise. That's all there for you. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you like this one. We'll try to do a few more reviews, but yeah, I think this one was a good start with the truck sat nav, and I'm hoping that we can do a few more of these as well. So let me know what you think in the description, in the comments below, what you think of these reviews and would you like to see more. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.